All right, welcome to the Monday Huddle. I have here the members of the Edge Brotherhood on Zoom, and we're going live on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you join the channel, and most important, comment below if you get value from this content, because today we're going to talk about expansion. Expansion. Right before the call, I said this year is the year of disruption. This year, if you're not willing to get uncomfortable with the things that you're doing, you're going to get left behind. So I want to start off by just acknowledging the fact that every single entrepreneur that's in the game, no matter what has happened in 2025, if you're still in business, you won. You won because there's a lot of men who didn't make it in 2025, a lot of businesses that went under 2025. If you're still in the game, if you're still in the arena, you're ahead of the game. See, sometimes we discount how far we've come. Sometimes we just look back at all the stress, all the fears, all the struggles that we had in the past, and we beat ourselves down. So if you're watching this and you're an entrepreneur, I salute you. Because we need more entrepreneurs to be able to play this game at a higher level. And my intention is to make sure every single week we come to this channel and we give you a little bit of insights. What does it take to win in the game? I call this the edge. I call this having the edge. The men that I coach, the men that I hear in the Zoom, they know what it takes to have the edge. But 99% of men out there, they have no fucking idea what the edge is. So hopefully by you watching this content and just by connecting with us, it gives you a little bit of an idea of how to sharpen your edge. Because the game is 95 mindset and 5% skill set. We all could learn skill set, especially right now with AI. AI is changing the game, that its skill set is becoming easier and easier to acquire. It's the mindset that's going to be able to win this game. So let's jump right in. In this training, we're going to talk about how you see yourself determines how others see you. See, how you see yourself determines how you show up. How you see yourself determines how you execute. Is how you see yourself determines your identity. So what creates our identity? Our identity is created by three things. Our conditioning, most of our conditioning is either upbringing or thoughts, is the environment, the people that we surround ourselves with, our association, and the belief system. Now see, most men create their identity based on what we do for a living. Because that's how we've been trained. We've been conditioned to believe that what we do for a living is our identity. I know it's because that was my identity for years. I'm a real estate professional, a real estate investor, and that was my identity for decades. Until that shit didn't work. Until I failed. And see, we believe that if we fail in business, then we are our failures. Our failures become our identity. See, I don't know what happened in 2008, where you were, but I remember clearly in 2008, when my business failed, my identity became that. And that's what I started in this path of being in this dark tunnel because I thought that my identity was my business. See, we create our identity feeling that we're only good enough if we win in our business. We only feel worthy if we're winning in our business. See, that's the gift and the curse of the entrepreneur. The gift is because we will do more than the average person because we will face that adversity. But the curse is that we're only happy if we win. We only feel fulfilled if we're winning in business. See, that's the reason that we are afraid to fail. The pattern that I see with most entrepreneurs that don't have the edge is that they are afraid to fail. So therefore, we create an identity that is fear-based. And I know this because I used to live this over and over again. And the men that I coach, I help them see that they have to break that identity. They have to interrupt the pattern. See, because we subconsciously sabotage opportunities. If you have an identity based on fear, if you create an identity based on, I'm only good enough when I win in business, I'm only good enough when I'm making money, I'm only good enough when I hunt, then you've created an identity based on fear. And most men operate on fear, and they don't even know it. Most men have the unconscious behavior that they just feel good enough and worthy enough if they succeed in their business, because their business becomes their identity. So the question for you is, what type of energy do you have? What's your identity? What's the energy behind your identity? What are you giving away to your family? Are you given the energy of like, I'm only as good as the money that I'm making, I'm only as good as when I'm succeeding, and when you're failing, do you take it out on your kids, you take it out on your wife, you take it out on the people around you? What type of energy are you giving to your customers? Do you have the energy of not having enough, so therefore people see you as a transaction? What type of energy do you give to your employees, your team? See, if you want better results, you must stop operating from a place of fear, and you have to start operating from a place of expansion. See, expansion is where it gives a man the opportunity to grow. Expansion is not just a word that you say, I'm going to expand, I'm going to grow. Expansion is a process. Fear is the unconscious behavior of the belief system that you're only as good as when you succeed in life. See, fear, I believe, is what the enemy uses to keep us hostage. Expansion is what God uses to help us grow to a different conscious level. And I believe that entrepreneurship is the ultimate spiritual game. So if you're an entrepreneur and you're in this game, you are a weapon for God. You are a weapon that God could use. The moment that you step into the conscious level of expansion, God could use you as a weapon. See, today we're going to talk about the 5 strategies to shift from the fear mentality to the expansion mentality. Because the fear mentality is what keeps every single man stuck. And that's what the enemy uses to keep you stuck in your business, keep you stuck in your marriage, keep you stuck in life, because fear is what the enemy uses to manipulate men. So let's begin. The first strategy: don't run away from fear. See, the moment that you realize that fear is just an emotion that drains you energy, and the more you focus on fear, the more you run away from fear, the bigger it gets. Because pretending is not there, pretending you don't have fear, it just makes that fear bigger subconsciously. Your job is to face that fear and stop running away from it, because the moment that you face your fear, you build courage. And that's what we need more men to have, is courage. Courage to face your fears. Courage to stop saying that this is as good as it gets. Courage to start believing that you are your story, because overcoming your fear takes growth. It's going to require you to get uncomfortable. It's going to require you to create a different version of yourself. It's going to require you to create a new identity, an identity of knowing that, shit, maybe right now I have a weakness. Maybe right now I don't know what to do. See, that was the most powerful part of the journey in the tunnel. In the tunnel, I found my weakness. In the tunnel, I found my fears. All the shit that I used to pretend that I was, all the ego that I had, the moment that I faced my fears, the fears begin to have less power over me. When you're ready to face your fear, that's the moment that God could work in your life. If you're not willing to face your fear, all you're doing is blocking God's messages. Because God uses fear as an opportunity for you to go closer to Him, to be able to get closer to your purpose, to a vision, to a higher version of you. If you continue to pretend that fear is not there, that nothing scares you, that you're not afraid of anything, then you become vulnerable. Somebody said to me, you either humble or you're about to be humble. And that stuck with me, because see, a lot of men that I see right now, last year what happened is it humbled a lot of men. It humbled a lot of men that they were not humble, because they used to think that they were invincible. They used to think they have no fear. I choose to fear God. And I know that I have human fears. But I face my fears on a daily basis. I don't let fear control me. But I know fear is there. But you have to be able to face that fear. And I face it every single day through a process. I have my daily ritual, a daily meditation, that I actually face that fear every single day so it doesn't consume me. So that's the first strategy, is to face your fears. Don't let fears run your life. Fear is there for you to expand and grow. The second strategy is kill the monster when it's little. Every single fear that you get, don't let it get bigger than what it is. Sometimes because we don't acknowledge fear, sometimes because we refuse to face it, it just gets bigger subconsciously. But the moment that you become aware of the fear, it exposes the fear into the light, the power disappears. Because I know that the lowest form of energy, what fear creates, is guilt, shame, and regret. And the moment that you have fear, it breeds guilt, shame, and regret. Guilt that maybe you don't have what it takes. Maybe guilt that you feel like, man, I made mistakes in the past. Maybe guilt that I shouldn't have done this. And that guilt and that shame and that regret builds and poisons your soul. So don't let fear become bigger. Don't kill the monster when it's little. Whatever fear you have, address it. Address it right away. Just write it down, journal it, feel it. Do whatever it takes for you to actually face that fear so that fear doesn't become bigger than what it needs to be. The third is scarcity is the mother of innovation. Every single time that you feel like you don't have enough, whether there's not enough money, enough resources, enough connection, enough love, whatever it is, fear of scarcity is just feedback where you need to improve. Where do you need to allocate your time, your energy towards in order for you not to have that fear? See, I believe that money is an exchange of value. And a lot of men, a lot of business owners, a lot of entrepreneurs right now have the fear of scarcity. We have wars going on right now, like the president, the president of Venezuela, all this uncertainty going on right now. Yes, we should have fear, but we shouldn't let fear run our lives. We should use it in order for us to see what's the value that we could bring into the market. Increase your value proposition. Bring more value than anybody else. Over-deliver. Give more than what people expect. See, the moment that you start innovating and creating opportunities for you to bring more value, the market will determine who gets the lion's share of the market. See, it requires you not to be afraid. It requires you to try things different. Even right now, as we're doing this is a live session. I've been doing this calls for the past 10 years. Every single week, sharpening my edge to get to the point that I could do this live. I have my guys here watching in YouTube. I have my community here that we're going to process this. But see, in order for you to over-deliver, you have to ask yourself, who else can I serve? What else can I do to bring more value? Maybe you're watching this on YouTube and you don't know who we are. Well, good. This is an opportunity for you to get to know who we are. There's an opportunity for you to know there's a community of men out there that are constantly sharpening their edge. Not to believe the story that you're alone. Not to believe the story that the world's in your shoulders. No, find a community that helps you sharpen your edge. And 4 is feel it and reframe it. See, that takes skills. See, most men run away from fear because they don't want to feel. They don't like the way it feels. They don't like the way that what fear does to your body because you're stressed out. So therefore, you drink, you sedate, you want to just watch movies so you forget about where you are. No, feel it. Focus on feeling the fear and then find the gift. So this is the process. Don't avoid doing the hard shit. It's hard to overcome fear. It's hard to feel fear. But the moment that you start feeling it, you see that feeling the emotion will actually get you stronger. Feeling the fear in your body actually develops in your subconscious level the opportunity for you to step into a different game, to step out of your comfort zone. But see, most men will never get there because they want to sedate their fear. See, life is never what happens to you. It's always about how you react to it. If you are reacting to fear by running away and you don't feel it, then you're going to get weaker. That's why every single morning, what I do is I put myself in a state of gratitude and then I tap into fear. I call this a daily ritual. So go to dailyritual.com, download the training that we have. I talk about how do you embrace that fear. And it's a meditation process that allows me to step into the fear, to feel it, and find the gift. And every single day is different. There's different fears that we have. Sometimes it's fear of not having enough. Sometimes it's fear of maybe second-guessing yourself. Sometimes it's fear of your kids, of your wife. There's all kinds of different fears, but I don't let those fears turn into a story. I address those fears and turn that into expansion. And this happened back in COVID when I was going through a challenge with my wife. My wife was having liver failure. But see, I've seen that fear of her being sick in my meditations for a long time, so I was able to tap into a different version of me in order for me to take care of her, in order for me to help her. Same thing, when business is not going the way that you want it to go, have you visualize what will happen if something happens in your business? How are you going to react to it? How are you going to step up and lead? It's not just about visualizing all the great things in your life. It's not just about visualizing what you want. It's also visualizing and anticipating the fuck-ups, anticipating the punch in the face, anticipating when something goes wrong. Because if you learn how to deal with fear, you're going to be one step closer to your next level. And number 5 is realizing that fear is not bad. Fear is not bad. Fear is only feedback. Feedback of what you need to work on. Feedback of what keeps you stuck. Feedback on what are you focusing on. So here's a couple of patterns that I see that keeps men stuck. Number 1 is worrying about what ifs. The what if syndrome keeps you stuck. The what if syndrome keeps you in a place of uncertainty. So stop thinking about what if. What if I fail? What if this happens? What if that? Fuck the what ifs. Focus on the why nots. Why not you? Why not now? Also, another pattern is, what would they say? You worry about they too much. And every single time that you worry about they, it messes up your execution. So that's a couple of patterns that I see that you have to identify. So you have to identify what is your fear. So take a moment right now and ask yourself, what is the fear? What am I worried about? Am I worried about the what ifs? Am I worried about the what they say? What is the fear that right now is going to prevent you from making 2026 the best year of your life in your business, in your marriage? And it's going to create a different version of you. Take some time right now and write down, what's the fear? Do you fear what they will say? Do you fear what they will think? Do you fear the what ifs? Because now you could turn that fear into expansion. Expansion is what God wants you to be in. Expansion allows you to actually listen to a higher calling. So if you're listening to this, it's no coincidence. All my guys in here that are in this training, they know that we focus on conquering fears every single day. And every single day, your job is to be able to break through the fear and create and sharpen your edge. Because at the end of the day, it's not what happens to you that matters. It's how you react to it. But 3 things that are going to create your identity. Conditioning. Every single day, you have to condition your mind. Every single day, the way that I condition my mind is to have a daily ritual that allows me to let go of my fears and be able to break through and create expansion. The second is environment. What is the environment that you have? Do you have an environment of growth? Do you go to events? Do you go to seminars? Do you go to conferences? Every single time that I get myself around people who are growing, that energy is contagious. We have events every single month here in the headquarters, workshops that allow men to actually break through their fears to see what's my next level. And the last is association. Being around a brotherhood. Being around a community of men that sees you as who you could become. They don't see you as your failures. They don't see you as the past. They see you as who you are becoming. I see a community has to challenge you. A community has to inspire you. Most important, a community has to be real. This is not a networking community. We're not here just to do business with each other. Business happens because we trust each other. But at the end, you have to find a community that you could connect with, that will inspire you to go to the next level. So if you watch this far, I want to encourage you to click on the link in this YouTube channel and just join us on the next live call that we have. Now we're going to go in through my community here. I'm going to ask you some feedback of what are they hearing about this, and after that we're going to go deeper. But this is how we process things here. We're not alone. You're not alone. And every single man that's part of this community knows that one man with the edge is worth 1,000 men. So my intention for you as you watch this is to realize, number 1, fear is necessary for you to grow. Number 2, you could use fear to expand your execution. And number 3, feedback is fear. To run away from feedback. Use it to sharpen your edge. All right, let's get some feedback on this. What are you hearing from this? No, keep the stream going. We're going to ask a couple questions for the guys. What are you hearing from this Steve Walsh? We'll bring you up, Steve.
I like what you said about journaling on the kill the monster when it's little. That's really what I was thinking about is that part is, journal, thinking about writing it down. What is it, the fear that's really getting to me right now, and just writing it down. That was the one thing I got out of that.
And it's so important, guys. If you don't journal, if you're not journaling on a daily basis, you're missing out on the opportunity for you to take out all the fucking energy that you have in your head that you're overthinking and put it in a piece of paper and see. Sometimes all we need is to see it and to talk it out. And you realize, oh shit, that fear was fucking stupid. Like that shit's never gonna happen. Like I talk to guys all the time and they're like, all right, let's process this. You realize that what you're saying is not logical, it's emotional. The moment that the logic and the emotional meet, the awareness happens. So can't wait to see you this week, brother. 2 claps.
2 claps. Excellent.
All right, let's go with Michael Archie. What are you hearing from this, Michael?
Hey, Raul, good to hear you. I think the biggest thing for me is really the identity. For me, I had to really look at who I wanted to become. And fear was a big component of it for me in 2025, but kind of good with the bad. I faced my worst fears, and I was talking to Coach Rob earlier about it today. And then once you overcome those fears that you have, you're somewhat fearless after that because you know you can accomplish those things. So I used to definitely procrastinate and not address fears up front, but now I do. Yep. And the more you deal with your fears and overcome them, the more fearless you become. So really, really great message.
And here's what I see, especially knowing you last year or so, Michael, like you went through hell and back in your business, with your marriage, but you realize that it didn't kill you. You see what happens is sometimes the fear that we have, we think, oh shit, if I go through this, it's going to kill me. If I go through this, I'm not going to go back to that. See, the Raul from 10 years ago was afraid of things that now I'm no longer afraid of. So fear is going to gradually chase you as you grow. So we want to grow out of the fears. There's going to be other fears. You realize that you're stronger than what you used to be, but stop thinking that fear is going to go away. Fear is always going to be there. All you have to do is grow out of the current fear to look for the next one. That's expansion. Good shit, brother. 2 claps.
2 claps. Excellent.
All right, we get one more and then we'll end the live. David Folks, what are you hearing from this? What do you got from this?
I would just second what Mike just said. I would just say that the procrastination, I think the better word is don't run away from the fear. Because that's basically the same thing. But I think fear is the more powerful word that maybe can stop you from procrastinating.
And procrastination is just another word for fear, David. We talked about it today, right? You procrastinate certain things. If instead of saying procrastinate, I'm afraid of this not working. Because that's what really when we procrastinate, what we're doing is we're actually avoiding failure. Oh, I don't want to try this because we avoid failure. So I'd rather just put myself into a state of thinking that one day I will do it as opposed to doing it and failing because that shit is hard. That's when you actually feel worse because you try and you fail. I'd rather just procrastinate. I'd rather just wait it out until one day it never happens. So, great. We're going to go deeper on this. Click on the link, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next week.